Hey guys, today we will be working on how to convert things such as sketches and concept art into vector art. If you don't know what vector art is, it is a type of art where you can blow up the size of an image and not have to worry about it reducing in quality at all. So to get this started, what I usually will do with my vector arts, especially with sketches where, there's varying borders, the outlines, the size of them, it just varies. And that's a stylistic choice. So what I will normally do, I will go around the entire art piece and completely do an outline so that I have my black outline exactly where I had it in the sketch. So to start off, we're going to do this. We're going to be using the pen tool, as you can see. And what's cool about the pen tool is, you can click and drag. And what's great about that is that once you click and drag, then your next point will automatically be assumed for you. Now, sometimes, this is not accurate at all, but for the most part, it's very accurate. And it all depends, which angle you're trying to go afterwards, after you drag. So like, we have this one point right here that was just a click. This next one right here will be a click and drag, so that will follow the curve of the image. Now let's see if I can better show this right here. So I have one that I want to put a curve on, and if I put a curve on one, the next one is automatically going to be curved in a manner to where it's going to try and match. Basically, Photoshop's trying to figure out exactly what you're trying to do for you. And in instances like these, where I pulled this with the pen tool, it's trying to go with the curve. And so, but the problem is this curve goes right here, and then the next one goes the opposite way. So what you can do to counter that is hold Alt and drag this pinpoint right here, and it will pull it back down. Now the next one, I'm going to pull down a bit. Same thing. It wants to go the opposite way. So with this pinpoint, I will pull it up. And we'll just continue along her hairline here. Notice as you continue along one long curve, it picks it up really well. Like with this, I didn't have to do anything, and it followed pretty well along the line. And sometimes you'll find where there's points where you don't have to do anything at all to them. And that's really convenient with the pen tool. So we'll just keep going down this hairline. And until we get to this point with her bangs. And obviously, this is going to have to be a much harder curve right there. Let's step back real quick and give this one another pull right here. And this one, obviously, we're gonna have to pull down. And we'll pull this about right here. Now, of course, this isn't perfectly along with everything with the, the outline of the original sketch. But, that's exactly what it is. It's just a sketch. And so we're using it as such. We don't have to follow directly with it. Sometimes you realize things that look better as you know, bring it into Photoshop. Sometimes you see choices that you should have made in the sketch. And so now we will use that to our advantage, the fact that we have this in here. To just, give it a more polished look. Obviously a sketch is a sketch, and we don't need to follow with it 100%. But we will follow along these lines as closely as possible, with it still looking like it should. And we'll do one more curve right here, and then close it off. Let's select this real quick, and let's step back here for a minute. There we go. Grab that pick whip. Okay, and the only thing we missed out on here is this. Hair. So, which that was completely my fault. Sometimes as things go by, you understand your mistakes. So let's add a few points. We'll move them into places. And that's the other good thing about this pen tool, is that, if you mess up and forget something, you can always just come back in here and mess with it again. So we'll add a couple more points. Pull this one up into here. Pull that in. And then, let's see. This pretty much will go right here. Pull this around. Pull this way. And the one final one right here. Alright, and so now that we have this path that we have created, you can now take this and turn this into a shape. And with the shape, we can go into this custom shape tool over here and then edit the color. So this is obviously going to be an outline. So we want this to be black. And we don't want any stroke on it. No, it doesn't have a color on it, but we'll just set that at 0. Just for good measure. Alright, now that we have this outline, we can now go in and start carving in these little details. First we'll just, I believe, start with her skin. And if we follow the inside of the line, it will give, like I said before, that varying thickness on the outlines, which gives it a very, just a good style. To me, with outlines, the more they vary, the better they look. And, that's just, of course, a personal preference. It also always depends what look you're going for. Not everyone's going to have the same opinions. And not everyone's going to be going for the same look. But I know what I'm looking for here. So we will continue with what we're doing here. And I'll just keep these little pieces of hair in here. Let's see. Pull this all the way down here. And then since obviously her lips are going to be a slightly different color than the rest of her skin tone, we'll pull those that way. Pull this down here. Keep going with this. And then we will edit that just slightly. And now with this, we can make another shape. And let's find a good skin tone for this to be. It's a little too orangey. Let's do it a little bit brighter. Yeah, that looks good. So now, as you see, we have this good, stylistic outline on this face. So, moving on. Let's go ahead and do... Tell you what, let's do the lips. So, lost my place there. Let's grab the pen tool. We'll start right here. Just go with the outline. So it'll be pulled just a little bit. Okay. And then we'll pull this. And continue to move down the line. Let's step back here just a bit. Pull this down. Pull that. That. And we'll pull this in a little bit. Okay. And out of that, we'll make a shape. Let's give her a nice lipstick color. Not that. Let's give her something a little bit dark like that. Dark red. Yeah, that'll look good. So here's the point where I admit I messed up just a little bit. So these points on this face, we'll move these over just a little bit. Let's grab this pen tool, move this in slightly, move this up and over. And like I said before, that's what's great about the pen tool and creating custom shapes this way. is that they're all editable. And we can pull the lips a little bit that way. And we'll go back right here. Pull this just a little bit. And pull that way. Alright, that looks much better. Okay, moving on. We'll go ahead and do the teeth and finish up the mouth. This will be very quick. It's just a simple 3-point. Okay, I'll pull this over just a little bit. Make a shape out of that. It's already white. Look at that. So looking right now, this is what we have. And if you ask me, it looks pretty darn good. Okay, moving on. We will let's work with the eyes. Let's go ahead and create the white of the eyes. And for this, we're going to follow along the middle of the line, the outline, just so that the white is underneath what we're going to create for the outline. So that will do. And we now have a white shape for her eye. Okay, now let's create the outline for her eye. We may do this in a few shapes. Create this one right here. Pull that down so that's in there. Make that a shape, and we will make it black. Now, what we can do is continue now we're going to continue making shapes until not what I wanted to do. We're going to continue making shapes until we've created her entire eye. And so let's do this again. Make that, of course, black. And turn that off. Go ahead and move it up. Okay, pen tool again. Let's create. Let's go back just a little bit. Create this flip that she has right here. Just keep this going. And then bring this in. Pull that down a bit. Pull this over. Pull that, and that should be a good shape. So you grab it right here, pull it just a little bit more that way. Yeah. And then, well, of course, gotta convert this to a shape. It's already black. So let's see. I think the last thing we need to add is some eyelashes. Pull this down. Pull that down. Make that a shape. And we now have eyelashes. Now, if we turn all these on, I believe we have one good looking eye. Alright, so moving on from that, we will add another white ellipse inside of her eye. Let's make that a shape. Oh, already white. And there you have it, the eye is finished. Okay, moving on. Let's start putting these into groups. So let's turn on everything for the eye. Okay. And then we will pull this all into a folder and rename it eye. You can rename by double clicking on the name. What is this? This is the teeth, I believe, yes. Lips. We'll group this into one and call it mouth. We'll rename this skin. And this outline. Okay, so let's see where we're at so far. This is looking not too shabby. So, of course, we have to add this nostril, which I believe, gives her the most character out of anything on here. So let's turn these off. We'll add this exaggerated nostril, which gives her just, that a little spunk. You can tell she's, just a little mad. We'll come in here. So of course, it's gonna be black. Pull this over. Just wondering what was going on with that. Grab this and pull this right here. And then we will turn that into a shape. And we will make it black. Okay. So this is what we have so far. Next, she looks kind of funky without that eyebrow, huh? So we'll go ahead and do that. We will name this nose. Okay. So this eyebrow obviously has, this outline to it that's black. So we'll go ahead and do the black outline. We'll just move this in a little bit. Keep pulling. Grab this right here. And we'll make this shape black. Next, let's add the brown from the eyebrow. Let's go back here. Add the brownness from the eyebrow. Of course, pull this in to where it's just behind the black. And then we can just take this, move it right here. Now, let's convert that, of course, into a shape. And then we will make that, let's do some kind of dark brown. Yeah, that looks, I don't know. Let's put a little more red into it. Yeah, a little less yellow. That looks good. Okay, and we will take these two in a group and put rename eyebrow. So right now, this is everything we have. So not looking too bad. She's got a lot of expression on her face. I do like these cartoony outlines, these varying outlines. I know I talk about that a lot, but there's a reason for it. Okay, so what we will do next is, I guess let's add her neck in, the skin for her neck. So let's take this pen tool. Pull this down here. Continue to move it along. Take this pick whip. Pull this way. And then we will pull this inside of the outline. Now we will take this. Whoop, let's go back here. Take this. Keep the hair, thin hair going. And we'll just end it right there. Let's take this right here and pull this down just a little bit. Okay. Now we will turn that into a shape. And take the color, match it with, I believe that's the original color. Yeah. Okay, and now on top of that, we will add this. Looks like she's wearing a tank top. So we will need to take this, her shoulder. And make this flesh tone. It's a very tedious process creating vectors, I know. But in the end, it's worth it to me. Make this a shape. And fill it. So, let's see what we have so far. Not looking too bad. Alright. So, one of these things I see down here is that, which I figured was going to happen, is right here. this down just a little bit so it goes more with her neckline. Yeah, looks much nicer. Okay, so that and her neck. Let's take this skin. Well, let's take these two, pull them down on top of the normal skin. And then we will group all of these together and just label this whole folder as skin. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. Next, let's do the color on her tank top, and then we will move into the hair last, since that is going to be the most detailed part of this. So we will take this and just create a shape for it. Alrighty. Convert that to a shape, and then let's see, we'll go with a navy blue, maybe. And we will set that just over the skin layer. And on top of that, we will create this other part of the tank top and close that. And this, doing that, actually puts both of these into the same shape. So the benefit of that is that those are together in one shape, but the harder part is with that is when you're trying to do outlines and this starts covering up areas while you're trying to draw it. So with some things there's a benefit to it, with others not so much. So we will label this as shirt. Let's see, the skin and the shirt. We will take the skin right here real quick. And we will delete that point. And instead take this and connect it with this, just to continue this good line that's going right here. And in my opinion, that will look much better. Yes. Okay. Now we are finally going to move on to the hair. Alright, so let's turn everything off. And let's move on to this hair. Now, all these areas that are darker right here, I plan on keeping black, so let's see if I can do that. Sometimes with certain sketches, it's a little more difficult to do so. But we will see. Okay, we'll start right here. Pulling this down. Pulling up. Pulling down again. Pull this up. And down again. This is very, it's almost like watching paint dry, except you're just, you know, a little bit more involved. But yes, it gets very, very tedious. Let's go back on that one real quick. We'll pull this down to here. Pull that up. Now when you're trying to create vectors, the best thing is to try and preserve as much detail as possible that was in the sketch, where it comes out looking very flat. And the way to do this is just make sure to follow along the sketch as much as possible. So we'll pull this down. Let's go back real quick. We'll pull that. And we'll just go up here, pull this around. I'll tell you what, let's go a step back. I know I should know my shortcuts, but sometimes, and I do know my shortcuts, sometimes it's easier for some reason just to, you know, click. It's a force of habit. I'll pull up here, pull down here, pull further. Just keep following this line right here. That one we had to pull pretty far. It's a pretty intense curve. And we'll just keep following this line right here. Pull down right here. Pull up. And we'll pull down right here. Skip some of that area. Pull this over. Let's grab this Pickwick. We'll pull. Oh, let's go back. We'll pull down right here. And continue to pull down until we get about right here. Pull this up. This black part right here we will have to add in afterward since it's separated from the rest of it. Pull down about right here. Pull up. Then pull this down. Pull up. Go a little bit further. Pull down. Pull it down just a little bit further. Pull down. Pull up. Alright, now that we have created all of the brown part of the hair, we will turn this into a shape again and grab the fill and make it the same color. As the eyebrow. So we will see right here what that looks like with everything else. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that looks pretty dang good just by itself. What we can do here, I know there are a couple of pieces we need to add back in. That are part of the hair. So we will put those on top of the hair shape we just created. And those are these two pieces right here. Now this, I have to pull this pick whip all the way up here. And that creates that perfect moon-like shape. Make that a black shape. And then the last one to add, I believe, is, let's see. Yeah, right here. Pull this down about right there. Wow, look at that. It's pretty dang close. And then we'll grab this pick whip, pull it along here, just until it's just over that. Now those are both in the same shape. We will drag both of these into this and name this. So now that all of that is put together, you now have a vector graphic that whenever you blow it up, resize it up and down, it will never lose quality. Now this is, of course, a huge thing when creating graphics. It's obviously a needed thing, especially whenever, you're moving from stuff from sketches and you want to create something that's going to eventually be, in HD, and so you're going to have to blow it up. So one final thing, we'll just throw a nice background color on here. And that is it for today. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please, post them in the comments below and let me know what you think. I know this was the first tutorial I've done. I know it wasn't perfect. I'll get better as we go. I mean, you see things like up here that, I tell you what, let's go ahead and, nah, we'll leave it be. You can always see that there's, imperfections with this method, but they're always editable. You can always go in and pull all these points and edit them very easily. So that's it for this tutorial, and hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was easy to follow along with. I'll be posting a new tutorial every week. Honestly, until I run out of things to teach you guys. So that's it for today. Signing out. See you guys later.